Basketball is brought to you in part by True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. United Airlines, the airline that's uniting the world, is proud to be Chicago's hometown airline. Come fly the friendly skies. And McDonald's of Chicagoland in Northwest Indiana. You deserve a break at McDonald's today.
Live from the Rosemont Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois, it's DePaul basketball tonight on Channel 9 as the Blue Demons host the Bearcats of Cincinnati. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dan Roan at the Rosemont Horizon. Glad you could be with us tonight for Blue Demons basketball on Channel 9. A great Midwest Conference matchup tonight, and these two teams both over 500 so far in the early going in league play. Marquette and Cincinnati both 1-0, and DePaul 2-1 in the early going in the league play. Right now, John Mengelt joins me, and John, these two teams favored in the league when the season started. I think they're still favorites as far as the league goes, but you never know which DePaul team's going to show up night in and night out.
Yeah, Joey's been very concerned about the inconsistency of his club, but I think you saw the emergence at Detroit the other day, Howard Nathan, who can do things for people in the half court. He can create offense in the half court, get easy buckets for his teammates, something that the Blue Demons have not had all year.
Cincinnati's had plenty this year. They're 11-2. They've lost only to Michigan State and Indiana, a great full-court pressing basketball team.
Yeah, they've only lost to two top 20 teams, that's right. Herb Jones is their offensive guy. He's the guy who's going to put the ball in the basket. But I'll tell you what, I like Anthony Buford. He's the leader, and Cincinnati does it on the defensive end. They're going to pick DePaul as they get up off that Blue Demon bus. They're going to be there waiting on them. 2-2-1, 1-2-2, zone, man-to-man. They're going to pick them up to cause turnovers and get baskets in transition.
So guard play will be at a premium tonight at the Rosemont Horizon as DePaul takes on Cincinnati. We'll be back with the starting lineups and the opening tip in just a moment. Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois. Dan Roan along with John Mengelt. DePaul basketball tonight on WGN. The Blue Demons and the Bearcats of Cincinnati. The first ever meeting between these two teams in a great Midwest Conference basketball game. They played 8 times throughout the years, and the Blue Demons holding a 6-2 edge in the series, John. But this one will be a difficult game for DePaul to win if they don't get good guard play in the face of the pressure that Cincinnati's going to put up against them tonight.
Well, Joey also is concerned about the week that his club has had. He's, had a very emotional game against Memphis State, had to fly into Detroit and a lot of weather problems there. He comes back, plays this ball game tonight, which I think is probably more important than the Memphis State game, and he wants to make sure his kids don't look ahead to Saturday's game at Georgetown. So 4 games in 8 nights can create some psychological difficulties, probably more so than physical problems for these young kids.
Yeah, for those who don't know the travel problems that the Blue Demons had trying to get out of Detroit yesterday, they played there Monday night, stayed overnight, were supposed to leave early in the morning, wound up sitting in the airport for about 8 hours, finally got home at about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening yesterday, had a quick workout at Alumni Hall and then sent them home to bed. Joey said he didn't get any tapes, didn't really get a chance to look at Cincinnati at all. He's been way too concerned about his own club, to jump ahead and look at a team like the Bearcats.
That may be good.
It always does seem that when that circumstance happens, your team plays pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think at kids this age should have any physical problem, but if it's going to surface, it will do that here tonight, because we talked about up front how Cincinnati will pressure the entire ball game, and a lot of times in college basketball especially, as you see the two coaches there, great. That may be the only time they're smiling at each other tonight. The pressure of constant changing full court zone man-to-man presses has a tendency to get to you psychologically more than it does physically. Just the wear and tear, you take a ball out and it's, oh God, now here they come again, kind of thing. So it'll be interesting, even though DePaul likes to press, and usually you'll see a lot of pressing from DePaul, especially after free throws, and you work against it in practice all week. You don't want to see it from some other team that you really don't know much about, and they have no choice here tonight. Cincinnati's trademark is the pressure defense.
DePaul on the way over to its bench. Cincinnati at the horn, huddling up out on the floor, and they're on their way back over there. The Bearcats, as we said, 11-2. They blew a 20-point lead at Michigan State and lost to the Spartans earlier this year, and then were beaten handily at Indiana, but a lot of teams are when they go in to play Bonnie's team.
Any team that picks you up full court the entire game, what you have to defend against is the spurt that's coming, the 13-0 run, the 15-2 run.
Right now, let's get the starting lineups. The PA announcer tonight, Jim Rebant.
And now, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Bearcats of Cincinnati. At forward, 6'4" and a senior from Atlanta, Georgia, 34, Herb Jones. At the other forward is a 6'10" junior from Monrovia, California, 44, Corey Blunt. At center, 6'10" and a senior from Cincinnati, number 50, Jeff Scott. At one guard is a 6'3" senior from Flint, Michigan, number 23, Anthony Buford. And at the other guard, a 6'1" junior from South Bend, Indiana, number 52, Alan Jackson. The Bearcats head coach, a 1977 graduate of West Virginia, in his third season, Bob Huggins. And now for the Blue Demons of DePaul. At forward, 6'6" and a junior from Chicago, St. Rita, 23, Curtis Rise Price. At the other forward, a 6'7" senior from Peoria, Illinois, number 30, David Booth. In the middle, 6'10" and a senior from Dallas, Texas, 21, Stephen Howard. At one guard is a 6' senior from Chicago Crane, number 11, Jody Joe Doherty. And at the other guard is 6'4" junior from College Park, Georgia, 25, TD Terry Davis. The Blue Demons head coach, a 1971 graduate of DePaul. In his 8th season, Joey Meyer.
So Joey Meyer's club, which hit a low point in a game we televised on January 2nd at San Francisco, has bounced back to play some pretty respectable basketball. They knocked off Loyola Marymount a couple of days later here at home, dropped a tough game on the road at UAB, came back to knock off Memphis State at home last Saturday, and then on Monday defeated the University of Detroit Mercy at Detroit. So the Demons coming around, a record of 8-5 so far, 2-1 in the league. And Cincinnati, of course, as we said, 11-2 overall and 1-0 in the league. Our remaining TV schedule on Channel 9 revolving DePaul basketball telecast right here. Saturday, February 1st against Alabama, Birmingham, another great Midwest Conference game. Also in the league, Wednesday, March 4th. And as we get down to the final week of the regular season there, those games will count a lot as to who is seated where in the conference tournament that starts the week following Saturday, March 7th. So a lot of basketball yet to come DePaul-wise here on WGN this season. Players on the floor. Curtis Price will jump it up for DePaul, and Corey Blunt, 6'10" junior college transfer, a junior for Cincinnati.
It's the same lineup Joey's been using when he thinks and feels maybe they're playing better together as a unit.
Alan Jackson is 52, guarded by Joe Doherty.
1-2-2 offense by Cincinnati. A lot of good athletes on this Bearcat club.
Three-point shot got the roll. Anthony Buford on the board with 3, and Cincinnati with a quick 3-point lead. Davis' shot won't go. Price tip won't go. Battle for it, and Herb Jones has it for the Bearcats.
Up and down the floor. People are going to have to be in real good condition tonight and stay in this one all the time.
Joe Doherty steps in front of pass. Doherty with Jackson to beat. Had it blocked out of bounds. Sweet defensive play by Alan Jackson, a 6'1" junior out of South Bend, Indiana.
Jackson, a very good player. In a slump right now, especially a shooting slump. You won't see a lot of that, but you saw there Doherty kind of lost the ball early, and I think that's why Jackson got a real clean block on it.
DePaul in the half court. David Booth down on the baseline. Lost it, picked it up.
Tough shot.
And hit it.
Good defense that time.
David Booth off and running with a basket. 3-2 Cincinnati in the early going here tonight at the Rosemont Horizon.
Booth's the kind of player that likes to get off early. He's usually very difficult to contain if he gets his first 2 or 3 shots.
Blunt, the one-hander, got nothing. Got his own rebound, missed it again. Back-to-back air balls by Corey
2 air
Blunt.
balls. You know, they like Blount. They like his hands. They like his dexterity. But I think they say he's a little soft down there. And if you noticed, he did kind of shoot a fadeaway. 6'11" guys should take it to the basket hard.
Good screen inside. They get the layup. They miss it. Scott missed the tip, and we're going to get a foul over the back on David Booth. A missed opportunity by Cincinnati for a wide-open layup, but they will get free throws as Jeff Scott goes up to the line.
Definite miscommunication on the out-of-bounds play. It's a simple box. You saw there Booth and Howard probably, I don't know what Joey's strategy is to switch or not. They didn't switch. There was a wide-open layup.
They didn't call free throws. They called it in the act of tip, not in the act of shooting, so Cincinnati has it in the half court now. A whistle away from play and a foul called inside on Scott.
Scott had a smaller Booth switch off on him. David trying to front him, and
he hooked him
back there. I don't know. I questioned Booth's other foul. That could have been a little makeup there, maybe.
Get him early, John.
Here's the pressure.
No trouble that time, although Davis may have traveled and gotten away. But now the steal and a wide open shot if Jones can track it down. Knocked out of bounds by Doherty.
Well, Doherty says, I got one block. I'm going to come back and block him.
Joe D is even for the night at 1-1.
Yeah, DePaul can be very aggressive on defense here tonight. Of course, DePaul fairly deep, plays 8 or 9 people. Cincinnati very poor free throw shooters at about 63%.
That may be something to watch. DePaul pretty good from the line so far this year at 73. That's Jones in the corner. Blunt down low. Back to Jones. He can shoot it from there. David Booth. DePaul in transition. Terry Davis pulls up and hit.
Well, maybe Joey's looking for the theory those who like to press don't like to get back on defense. DePaul pushing the ball up the floor and looking for that transition shot.
Herb Jones and David Booth, a battle to watch all night long. This is Blunt. He missed it, and Howard the rebound. 2-on-2 if they hurry. Davis in the lane, off the board, but too hard, and the rebound by Blunt, now tied up by Terry Davis, and DePaul will have it.
Possession arrow, of course, toward DePaul. Good hustle by Price.
Davis may have missed that shot, John, but he went right after the rebound and forced the jump ball situation, and DePaul will have it. Chance to extend a 1-point lead here with 17:30 to play. Booth hesitates. Now Howard. Good fake and the shot.
And that's what Howard likes to do. He likes that 15-foot jump shot. Nice move that time. Got Scott up off his feet.
Stephen Howard hit his first 4 shots at Detroit Monday night. Got the Blue Demons off to a real good start there. And right now they've got a 6-3 lead.
Cincinnati 1 for 8 from the field. Struggling from the field, and that's really where they score most of their points.
Ball tapped away. Shot on the one is too hard, and Curtis Price rips down the rebound for DePaul.
3 rebounds early for Price.
David Booth in the lane, in the hoop. Booth off the fake has 4. It's 8-3. The Blue Demons off quickly here tonight at the Rosemont Horizon.
DePaul struggling just a little bit, and I think they missed Brad Neiman from the three-point range. This year only 35%. Booth had a nice three-pointer, looked away, put it on the floor, and hit for the 2.
Boy, Herb Jones being blanketed down in the post by David Booth and Stephen Howard. They're not showing Jeff Scott much respect, John, down on the other side. This is Scott with the basketball. Now Blunt. Blunt to the basket, missed it again. He's 0 for 4, and a foul called on Cincinnati as they battle for the rebound.
Well, Blunt can put it on the floor, but I think the Cincinnati coaches feel he's a little bit too much of a finesse player for as big as he is. As you saw that time, a little baby jump hook instead of taking it all the way to the basket.
Here's the Cincinnati pressure.
2-2-1, full court press.
In the middle to Davis, and DePaul clears it. They keep the trap on. Curtis Price didn't come to get it, and Cincinnati with a steal. In the corner it goes to Jones. He didn't shoot it. Now outside, Buford missed the three. All Cincinnati for the board, and now Price has it for the Blue Demons. Cincinnati off very cold from the field so far. Stephen Howard open on the baseline and couldn't get the roll. Davis, the garbage hoop.
It won't look like garbage in that scorebook. It'll look just like that jumper he hit a while ago. Terry Davis hanging around the basket.
It looks real good to Joey Meyer right now. It's 10-3, and the Bearcats have missed 12 in a row. Well, as soon as you put that stat up on the board, you know they're going to score, and they do. This is Blunt with his first two for the night.
DePaul with a little more aggressive overplay defense than usual.
Booth has it. Advantage here for DePaul, and he missed the hook shot. Howard lost it, and we get a reach-in foul on Cincinnati.
Coach Bob Huggins not happy about something. Cincinnati had a great trap at the half-court line. Doherty broke it, and they had a 3-on-1 and missed a fairly easy opportunity.
All right, we get a timeout with 15:02 to go in the first half. DePaul out to a 5-point lead. It's 10-5 here at the Rosemont Horizon. Back at the Rosemont Horizon, DePaul out to a 10-5 lead here in the first 5 minutes of this basketball game. Thanks in large part to some cold shooting by the Cincinnati Bearcats. They made their first shot, missed 12 in a row, John, then came back to make one last trip down the floor.
Actually, Dan, they're not getting that bad of shots either.
Not at all.
Working the ball in pretty well, getting short jump shots, somewhat contested, but those are pretty good shots.
Jeff Stern in the ball game for DePaul.
Serious overplay by Cincinnati. DePaul may have to run some back doors here fairly quickly to alleviate some of that pressure.
A little too aggressive defensively is Eric Martin, number 3 in the game for Cincinnati, 6'5" junior college transfer out of Rancho Santiago JC in California.
4th team foul on the Bearcats, only one on DePaul, and you know, you're right, Dan, they can be too aggressive if it pushes DePaul into the one-on-one way too soon in the half. But I don't know that a coach ever wants to hear someone say his team is playing too aggressive defense.
Booth around the screen. Terry Davis penetrating. Davis up. Had it tipped, and it's out of bounds to DePaul, or Cincinnati. It should have been DePaul. Somebody missed one that time, I'm afraid. And here's Howard Nathan for the first time. Howard Nathan coming off a terrific game at Detroit. He set up Jeff Stern for 3 or 4 dunks that I can remember against the Titans Monday night.
And created most of them in half-court offense, which is a little bit more difficult than an open transition game. Howard really looked at depth and looked more confident putting the ball on the floor.
Has to come out off the screen and try to check Jones, who missed the three-point try. 3-on-2 DePaul if they hurry. Nathan to the glass. He'll go to the free throw line for 2. Howard Nathan aggressively to the basket just into the ball game, and he'll shoot 2 free throws.
Very classic fast break. Nathan had Booth on one on his right wing, Stephen Howard on his left wing. Had 2 defensive players. None of them came to get him, so he split them, took it to the basket. Just missing the layup. He'll have 2 free throws.
Nick Van Exel, number 31. Terrence Gibson, number 10, into Cincinnati's lineup.
Nathan, an 83% free throw shooter. They feel Van Exel's one of their better players, and he's playing real well of late, averaging 15 points in his last 3 games. They probably brought him in he's a little bit quicker and defensively to guard Nathan, and on offense he's a lefty, and he's got some good range. They like him.
Howard Nathan got him both. Van Exel from right up the road at Kenosha, Wisconsin, came to Cincinnati by way of Trinity Junior College in Texas. 8 transfers on the Cincinnati team as Bob Huggins tries to manufacture a strong program down there in his 3rd year.
Tom Kleinschmidt in the game.
Buford slapped on the arm, and a foul on Howard Nathan, his first, and 2 team fouls on DePaul.
Anthony Buford, one of the better free throw shooters, the best free throw shooter for Cincinnati at only 70%. Played 3 years at Akron for Coach Bob Huggins and sat out last year, came to Cincinnati, sat out the whole year to play his 4th year for Huggins at Cincinnati. He's their leader, and he's a strong kid, 6'3" at 200 pounds. Some of the NBA scouts like him. They like that leadership. He has good range. And plays really solid defense and is a smart player. No free throw, that's right. Eric Martin in the lane.
Martin jumped in the lane. I thought maybe Buford stepped over. I didn't see Martin.
Well, Martin jumped in the lane. You were blocked out by the official. There he goes up. Whoop. Boy, that's a bad feeling too when you got a buddy shooting a free throw. Boy, he'll wear you out after the game. It cost him a point.
So still 12-5 in DePaul with Howard Nathan facing up against that press. Off the stutter dribble. Nicely done by DePaul. Nathan open for three, didn't take it.
Cincinnati camouflaged the zone defense.
Howard missed the three. Blunt over the top for the rebound. Is Mike Reichenegger into the game. Long left-handed three-point shot is good by Van Exel.
There's Van Exel. He's picking right where he's left off up last week, popping him. They better play him out there, and when they do, he's going to try to go around him.
Reichenegger fouls Terry Davis as they go for the double team down low. A couple of scores from other games tonight in the Big Ten. Iowa out to an early 10-point lead over Illinois. And Northwestern playing Michigan State tonight, and the Spartans with a 12-point lead up in Evanston. Keep you posted on those games as we continue here from the Rosemont Horizon. Bounce pass inside to nobody, stolen away. Buford on the run. This is Van Exel. Reichenegger, down low it goes to Blunt. He missed the shot, but he drew the foul. Jeff Stern came out to play defense that time, and Stern whacked him on the arm.
Stern, very athletic. A little bit caught away from his defensive player that time. There's Monday against Detroit. Played, I thought, very, very good defense. Got a lot of nice feeds from Howard Nathan. Very aggressive around the boards. That time caught sleep a little bit defensively. And it looks like he's got a problem with a contact or something because he asked to be taken out of the ball game.
Herb Jones has checked back in for Cincinnati as Blunt makes the first of two. Blunt with 3 points in the game now, and it's a 12-9 game. Bearcats starting to eat into DePaul's lead here a bit.
Cincinnati with 6 team fouls. If I were DePaul, I'd take the ball to the basket very aggressively. Draw those fouls.
Booth is open, and he's fouled, and fouled hard, and may be hurt down along the baseline. Terry Nelson gave him the body shot as David went up to try and dunk that ball. Well, the DePaul players waving at the bench say, hey, he's all right, don't worry about him.
Well, he was up in the air, so you know he couldn't strain anything or twist anything. I think he just got banged pretty hard. David going up for the dunk, and real aggressive foul that time by Terry Nelson. I don't think anything dirty, or obviously he's going after the ball here, and if he can't get the ball, he's going to take Booth out and make sure he earns a 2 from the line. DePaul now in the bonus.
David Booth has the free throw, 5 points in the game for Booth. We may see a lot of free throws in this game before it's over with. 12:41 yet to play in the first half, and DePaul already there.
Well, we'll see if Cincinnati changes their defense. You know, when another team gets in the bonus, most of the time you have to change your defense, play a little bit softer.
Van Exel beats the press. On the run, shot up, no good, and battled for and finally taken out by Nathan. 3-on-2. Nathan. And Cincinnati has it.
That time Nathan probably should have pulled up, but I don't think Joey Meyer wants to take and pull the reins back on him. He's got confidence now. Probably wants to let him run, get a little more confidence. Nice save by Tom Kleinschmidt.
18 feet away. Buford, Herb Jones yet to score tonight. Van Exel cut off. Now Jones down low. Booth submarined him from behind and knocked it away. DePaul has it on the turnover, and Booth will never get that pass from Nathan.
Chamberlain couldn't get that pass from Nathan.
Nope. Cincinnati will have it when we come back. 11:56 to go in the first half. 14-9, DePaul on top. Dan Roan and John Mengelt back at the Rosemont Horizon. DePaul 14-9 leaders over Cincinnati, and the Bearcats will have the basketball as they break the huddles and head out back to the basketball floor. So we've talked about Cincinnati's defense and their press and the way they've been able to lock up opposing teams' leading scorers. Well, tonight, Herb Jones, the Bearcats' leading scorer, at almost 20 a game, has yet to get on the board. Cincinnati's still way down there in the field goal area. Jones got it down low. Nathan took it right away from him. Here comes Howard Nathan on the run. Davis, Kleinschmidt, lean in. No. Howard shot no good and pulled out by Herb Jones. The Blue Demons again wasting an opportunity. And Van Exel back quickly for Cincinnati with a three that's too hard, and DePaul has it back.
Both teams continue to struggle from the field. Cincinnati 3 for 19. DePaul 5 for 16. I've always contended for a visiting team, especially with the wide end zones, this place is hard to shoot in.
Terry Davis missed badly from down low, and we get a foul on the rebound attempt on Cincinnati, and that will send somebody up to the free throw line for DePaul.
Stephen Howard on the rebound here. You see Davis come along, back screen, nice play. Shot rolls off, Howard goes up, and if you'd continued that on, Howard was kind of hiding out there. I think the ref didn't know which guy to call it on. They both went up together. Howard kind of hid, and he's going to the line. And Corey Blount's going to the bench.
Howard, a 76% free throw shooter. That's 3 points on the night for Steven.
DePaul much more aggressive offensively tonight than I've seen them in a while, just not connecting as often as they'd like to, but they are pushing the ball up the floor and getting fairly good shots. Both of them getting good shots. They're about as cold in here as it is outside.
Howard got them both. He'll take a seat. Jeff Stern comes on for DePaul. They've come a long, long way, John, since the last time we did a game at San Francisco with these guys. Oh, almost dug away by Davis. Now Cincinnati's got some numbers. This is Martin. Van Exel for three. Missed it again. Rebound taken down by Terrence Gibson. They're looking low to Herb Jones. Now he's got Stern with him. Shoots over the big man and short, and Stern right there for the board. DePaul's got numbers if they hurry. Boot loads it up and hit it. David Boot.
David had that written on his face all the way down the floor. Nice pass from Nathan.
And Cincinnati calls timeout. Coach Huggins not at all pleased with his team's offense, and right now it's DePaul in double figures by 10. 19-9, and we'll be back. 10:34 to play in the first half at the Horizon. DePaul 19 and Cincinnati 9. Bearcats just having a horrible time trying to put the ball in the basket, and it's carried over to that three-point statistic. 2 of 8 for Cincinnati so far, and David Booth just made DePaul's first of the night.
Now DePaul not giving Cincinnati much of anything in the half-court offense, and they're getting back on defense, and Cincinnati's having a very difficult time creating anything for themselves in their half-court.
Down low, nothing there. This is Gibson from three-point range, and he got it. Terrence Gibson has it. Well, of Cincinnati's 4 baskets, 3 have been three-pointers.
Well, Coach Huggins trying anything. That's more points than Gibson averages. He's only 2.2 average. Has not seen a lot of time. Maybe he's found somebody who can put it in the basket.
Ill-advised pass by Howard Nathan on the other end.
Now he Why would you leave him open again?
I don't know. He missed it. The rebound is up on a yo-yo, and what looked like a clean block there is going to send Terry Nelson up to the free throw line. Tom Kleinschmidt picks up the foul, his first.
Well, for a senior, that might have been a clean block, but not a freshman. A little freshman call on that one, maybe. Cincinnati looks like they came out a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more on their toes than on the heels like they were.
Brandon Cole, 13, Joe Doherty, 11, back into DePaul's lineup as Terry Nelson steps up for 2 free throws. 6'3" junior out of Long Beach, California.
Anytime you got a guy come in off the bench and pow, he hits one right away, you know, you really want to stick him the next couple times down the floor, because you don't want a guy coming off the bench that doesn't play much to get off and get going.
Well, what Howard Nathan was trying to do, he was frustrated that he'd thrown the ball away the previous time down the floor. He tried to come and backdoor steal from somebody.
Oh, great save as
Beautiful
Cincinnati's
save.
pressure comes in and pays its dividends. Terry Nelson showing his stuff here very quickly with 4 points and a nice save.
And out of bounds to Cincinnati. The press really starting to pay off for the Bearcats. What was a 10-point lead a couple of minutes ago has now been cut to 4.
You got to attack a press. You got to really go at it. You can't be passive with a press or it'll chew you up.
Well, you can't pick the ball up in a double team.
No,
you know, right?
not there. That's where they want you to.
Way
As
out
soon
on
as
the
you get
floor.
across half court over in that corner, you got 2 additional defensive players. One is the out of bounds line. The other one's the mid-court line. That's the worst place you can pick the ball up.
Down low, and this time we get a travel. Eric Martin walked with the basketball, and the turnover gives it back to DePaul.
Right now, I believe, except for Buford, you don't have one starter in the game for UC. Buford is the only starter in the ball game that Coach Huggins had on the floor when this one started.
Klein-Schmidt, Doherty, Brandon Cole didn't shoot it. Inside, Klein-Schmidt's got an easy one.
Nice pass from Cole.
Brandon Cole found Tom Klein-Schmidt all alone in the lane, and it's 21-15. DePaul back on top by 6.
Klein-Schmidt, very good instincts, both defensively and offensively. He moves very well without the ball.
Nelson with Doherty. A physical mismatch there, but Doherty all over it. Klein-Schmidt and Van Exel. Van Exel to the baseline. He was fouled before the shot. That'll be number 2 on Tom Klein-Schmidt and 5 on the Blue Demons as a team. Updating the scores from the Big Ten tonight. Iowa 25-11 over Illinois. And at Northwestern, it's 30-14 now. Michigan State leading the Wildcats. Martin tried to post up Booth inside. Gibson couldn't get it to him. And now a loose ball and a steal by DePaul. Now a re-steal by Cincinnati. Bearcats will have it. Klein-Schmidt couldn't find the handle there.
He tried to take off with it before he got it.
And Herb Jones gets his first basket of the night. 12 minutes into the game. 21-17. Cole fakes, shoots. Could not get the roll, and it's all Bearcats underneath the board.
Cole really struggling, only 30% from the field. Probably he's thinking too much about that shot before he takes it. A very prolific high school shooter.
Herb Jones leaned in. Booth blocked it off the board and out of bounds. Substitutions on the way in. Stephen Howard back on for DePaul, replacing Klein-Schmidt, and 52 Alan Jackson, the starting guard, into the game. And Van Exel will sit down.
Cincinnati, despite a disastrous start, has creeped back into this ball game, only down 4 points.
Gibson will throw it in. Does so to Jackson.
A lot of similar-sized players for Cincinnati, which helps in that press. They pick you up all over.
Herb Jones found Buford, and Anthony Buford knocked it down. 21-19.
Again, you see DePaul here just a little bit passive with the press. As soon as Cole gets that ball, when he got numbers, you got to go after him.
Stephen Howard fouled as he went up for the shot. Anthony Buford picks it up, and Stephen Howard right back to the free throw line.
Buford is saying that Howard very intelligently as well, watch, hit his arm as he goes up. See him hit his arm with his right hand? Buford wanted to foul on Howard. He's still upset about it, and he may have a reason to be. Stephen Howard, very smart, drew the foul on that play.
Howard hesitated when he went up for the jump shot. Didn't know if he's going to shoot it or not. I think that's why he didn't get the thing off in the first place.
You know, psychologically, when things are going well, as they see Purdue over Michigan by 6 there early, that I don't know how long that'll last.
That's at Michigan tonight, too.
You start thinking about when Cincinnati starts creeping back up on you, and you start thinking about those shots more, and the arm gets a little tighter, and you don't put them up as relaxed. And DePaul needs to continue to attack the press as they did early in the ballgame.
Jackson and Buford. Buford beat Howard out front and hit it off the back of the iron. Loose on the floor. What are we going to get? a whistle and a jump ball to Cincinnati.
Do you like that possession arrow? I hate it.
I don't know. It speeds up the game, I will say that.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, you're really leaving it up to Lady Luck for, you know, when you have jump balls, and I just think it was a very integral part of the ball game. I know it depended a lot how referees threw the ball up, but boy, I'll tell you, I just think you take something out of the ball game when you take that away.
Certainly one more thing for the coaches to think about. Corner shot on the way, good for 3. Buford hit the 3. He's got 8 points in the game, and it's 23-22. Cincinnati within a point. Cole to Stern down on the baseline. They swing it back the other way to Howard, and now Doherty open. Behind the back to Booth, and blocked by Cincinnati. Corey Blunt. Buford loads it up again, and this time he's too far with it. Cole had to reach back, got to it, and had it blocked again.
Oh.
Doherty saves DePaul on that trip. You're going to have some people thinking about putting those layups up, John, the way Cincinnati has hammered them off the board the last 2 times down.
What you have to do as an offensive player, though, is find the defensive player's body and put your body on his as Stern makes a block.
Here comes Brandon Cole, lost it, tipped into the backcourt, and it's all black jerseys down there. Herb Jones with the finish for Cincinnati.
Cole doing the right thing, attacking the press. Looks like he hit a little bit of wet spot there and fell. Hey, good save, Dan. Now this is a bad call right here. This is a bad call. Gibson came up behind Cole and put his forearm in his neck. Referee did not make the call. Cole retaliated, and they called a double foul. No way the ref didn't see the first one, otherwise he wouldn't have called a double foul. He should have called the first foul on this. That is not right. You know, and then he gets taken out. Yeah, that's a bad break for the kid.
Gibson stays on.
Gibson put his forearm right in Cole's neck, probably trying to intimidate the freshman a little bit. Brandon just came right back and did the same thing back to him. You got to call the first one. You got to call the first one.
Double fouls, a jump ball, possession arrow for DePaul, so they'll have a 1-point lead here, and just over 5 minutes left in the first half. Doherty in the lane. He was grabbed on the way in. Alan Jackson fouled him, and Joe D steps up to the line. DePaul's made 8 in a row from the free throw line here in the first half, and Doherty will have a chance to stretch that out.
Up on the board, they have only 17 fouls. It's been 7 for a while. A 10 automatically gives you 2 shots.
That's as high as that board goes, John. 7. Actually, that was the 11th foul on these guys in the first half. So it's 2 free throws the rest of the way on any foul.
You may, after that altercation at midcourt, see the refs call the game a little bit closer so we don't have any type of fighting going on. DePaul with only 16 fouls. Of course, the next foul will be the bonus for Cincinnati.
Jody makes them both. DePaul 10 for 10 at the stripe and leading by 3 with 5:14 to go in the opening half. Buford double teamed. Price fell down. Now Cincinnati clears it across the timeline. Reichenegger into the ball game for Cincinnati. This is Jackson in the lane. Off the fake. He's fouled by Booth, and it wouldn't go. 2 free throws, though, coming up for Alan Jackson.
Jackson from South Bend, Indiana. We said he's been struggling lately. Looks good on this move. A little bit of a mismatch for Stephen Howard as he's trying to play Jackson much quicker and much more adept out on the floor. Booth over to help, draws a foul.
Gibson is out. Van Exel back in for Cincinnati.
That looked like an NBA 2-shot foul there, didn't it? If he hits the first one, it won't make any difference because it would have been the one in the bonus.
Eight points a game on the average for Alan Jackson. That was his first point of the night.
68% free throw shooter, one of the better free throw shooters, as we said, for Cincinnati. They struggle at about 62.4%.
Doherty clears it to Howard. Howard by the defense, and Reichenegger No, he didn't foul him. One referee called traveling, and we get a foul on Reichenegger, and the foul will take precedence. So Stephen Howard heads up to the line. 2 fouls on Reichenegger. And 2 free throws for Stephen Howard. He's already 4 for 4 at the line tonight.
Well, this is the price you pay when you play very, very aggressive and you foul, get some fouls early in the ball game. You're going to put the team, the opponent, on the free throw line. And as you mentioned, Dan, DePaul, not bad from the line at 73%.
Howard gets the roll.
Clanked around a little bit, but it went in.
Kind of loud up there, isn't it?
Yeah. You're supposed to have like what we call string music, when the ball just hits the nets and you just kind of hear that.
Like
swish.
when you played, right?
Like that one.
There you go. 29-26.
Dan, I played so long ago, I forget.
Yeah, when you played, talking about those jump balls, they had them after every basket back then, didn't they?
No, not quite.
Terry Davis picks up a foul here.
18th foul for DePaul.
Free throws coming up here for Herb Jones.
One of the things we talk about all the time, as a player, you got to know where you're at in the ball game at all times. You got to have a good feel for the score, good feel for the momentum, know how many fouls you have as well as your team has. And Terry Davis on a little bit of a cheap foul there allows Cincinnati to go to the free throw line. But as we said, it may not hurt too bad because they don't have a very good reputation of hitting them.
Well, Stephen Howard right back to the line as Reichenegger comes over the top trying to bat that pass away. 3 fouls on Mike Reichenegger. He may sit down here in a second. Eric Martin's at the scorer's table, and Stephen Howard back at the free throw line.
Here you see him coming over the backside. Sometimes they'll sneak up on a guy back there because you don't expect the guy to play over there. You expect him to play you to the middle because that's usually where a guy will roll, where he has the most room with the basketball. But he got caught that time and probably fairly far out on the floor to be that aggressive on a big guy trying to post you up. Since DePaul really maintaining their lead in this ball game, as you mentioned, from the line.
13 for 13 in the game.
We call it living at the free throw line.
Well, you can make a living at the free throw line if you get up there often enough. Stephen Howard has 10 points, 8 of those at the stripe, and it's 31-26. Curtis Price watching Van Exel bring it across the floor.
Oh, good back door by Martin.
Had it blocked by Price, got it back. Blocked again by Howard, and finally on the third trip, shot up and in by Eric Martin.
Good job by Martin staying after it. Good leaper, good athlete.
And an offensive foul called on David Booth, and that'll be number 3 on him.
Oh, that's a tough foul. Good defense by Buford. He's got a little bit of a smile on his face, kind of lured Booth into that. And that could be a major, major play as the game goes on the second half. There you see it, obviously a blocking foul. A little Hollywood there as you moved over, and you don't see a lot of offensive fouls called in the last 3 or 4 years. The referees have gotten away from calling those.
Kleinschmidt trying to check Jones, but Jones goes right up over the top. Senior against a freshman right there, and it's 31-30. Cincinnati back within a point. Price, nice pass to Howard. Shot up and good.
You're right, Dan. Quick ball moving, a little tip pass from Price. Howard with the open jumper.
.335 to play in the first half, 33-30. It's been a close one since the first 8 or 9 minutes of this game. Van Exel tried to move in, and he's fouled by Curtis Price.
Price just kind of snatched the ball from him, must have got him across the arm. Cincinnati creating some mismatches out on the floor. This one a definite mismatch. Van Exel quick. Price with the quick hands gets called for the foul. You had a good angle at it there. You got the whistle. You make the call.
Ted Hillary was right on the play and called the foul. So Van Exel at the line for the first time tonight.
One thing Cincinnati likes to do is they don't run much continuity on offense, but they have done tonight so far, taking advantage of mismatches defensively. As we mentioned, A lot of guys in the game, same size, a lot of good athletes, a lot of quickness, and they're getting DePaul's big guys out on the floor and going one-on-one.
Doherty got the ball. Now DePaul brings it across the line with Howard. 3:20 to go in the first half. DePaul trying to build on a 3-point lead. Doherty barks out the offense. Terry Davis. Joe D wide open, didn't take it. Kleinschmidt didn't take it. Somebody needs to open things up here. Down low it goes to Howard, backing in. Turnaround shot is no good. Did everything but go in, and Herb Jones the rebound for Cincinnati. Alan Jackson runs the offense for Cincinnati. Wide open is Eric Martin. No good. Curtis Price rips it out of the air for DePaul.
Cincinnati hustles back on defense very well in their pressure. I think DePaul's probably got to pop a few of those open jump shots from outside.
Bearcats now in a 2-3 zone. Kleinschmidt whacked across the face. Good pass inside to Howard. Got it and gets the foul.
Yeah, whack across the face ain't gonna bother Kleinschmidt. I can tell you that right now. Good strong move to there. You see it. Whop. This a little baby tap. That's all right. Wipe your nose off. Take it in. Make a good pass.
He sure did. A nice muscle on the finish
really
by
good.
Howard.
Really good shot. Really strong move. Gets fouled. Knows it. Just gets it up there any way he can. And Howard improving his status down low there as he becoming a little bit of a muscle man there.
He makes the free throw. He's made 9 in a row in the first half, and we get a timeout. 2:09 left to play in the opening 20 minutes, and it's 36-30. The Blue Demons back up by 6. 2:09 to play in the first half. DePaul leading Cincinnati by 6. And next up for us on Channel 9 regarding DePaul basketball, the UAB Blazers right here at the Rosemont Horizon Saturday night, February 1st, a 7 o'clock tip on WGN. Real quickly, we want to say hi to Brenda Burmeister, the wife of DePaul assistant coach Kenny Burmeister. Brenda home recovering from surgery today at Northwestern Memorial Hospital. Glad to have you home, Brenda. We need somebody to dress that guy over there.
Oh, no, he's got a great tie on tonight. I tried to get it from him. Awesome tie. All those coaches a little dapper over there tonight.
Kleinschmidt stayed with Jones, but Cincinnati picks up the loose ball, and Jones finally gets the tip. Stephen Howard had hit the deck in the middle of all that, and he's kind of slow to get out.
Got to give David Booth, I guess, a little credit for the job he did on Jones early in the ball game. Kind of stymied him a little bit. Jones coming to life just a little bit here. This one's off a follow, but hey, they all count.
Jones has 8 in the game now and was scoreless for the first 12 minutes. Nice pass by Davis to Price for the dunk.
Well, the way to beat a zone press, get the ball in the middle. Kleinschmidt, Davis again, a little tip pass, and Price on the strong dunk.
38-32. A minute 20 to play.
That's the way you take the air out of the strong press.
Martin cut off at the baseline by Howard. Van Exel shot off the glass and in.
Shot. Good move by the little guy on Price. Little
5
baby
points for Van
left-handed
Exel.
hook.
He's got 5. DePaul across the time stripe. Under a minute now. Kleinschmidt to the baseline. Nothing there. An 11-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Price trying to post up. Now Doherty takes the 3 and hit it. Joe Doherty, who's had that shot 3 or 4 times tonight, finally cut one loose, and he nailed it. 7 points in the game for Doherty, 41-34. The Blue Demons lead as we tick down to the end of the first half.
Play good, tough defense. You don't want to bail them out. Cincinnati with a foul.
Van Exel. 5 seconds. By himself with Curtis Price. Spinning in the lane. Got it up on the glass, but did not get it. And that'll do it for the first half here at the Rosemont Horizon. A late surge by DePaul has put the Blue Demons ahead by 7 after the first 20 minutes. It's 41-34. DePaul leading Cincinnati. And we'll be back with halftime activities in just a few moments.
Welcome back to the Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois, where it's halftime between University of Cincinnati and DePaul, and it's also time for the Joey Meyer Show. I'm your host, John Mengelt, and as always, we have the coach of the Blue Demons with us, Joey Meyer, and we like to talk about things that are pertinent to college basketball. And of course, last week in Anaheim, they had the meetings for the NCAA. And interestingly enough, I think in the opening statement from the executive director, Dick Schultz, he talked about 4 things. 1, politics. I think there's fear of the government getting involved. 2, finances, which everybody talks about right now nowadays. Reform, which is basically athletic, and public perception. I guess I'd like to talk about that one first, Joey. Public perception. Do you think that's been improved over the last 3 or 4 years, or do you think that colleges are maybe losing the respect of the public?
I think it comes and goes with the situation. Every time somebody's investigated and somebody's found guilty, then everybody cheats. And I think that's the problem with college athletics. It's like anything in business. There's guys that get caught doing something wrong. That doesn't mean that everybody in business is wrong or the whole system is wrong. And I think that's what happens in athletics. There definitely is too much pressure on coaches and programs to win to make money. There's no doubt about it. And I think that's where the evil of it. But how do you stop that the same way it is in society? There's, pressure to produce, to make money, to be successful.
4 or 5 major things, at least to me, came up during the meeting. I'd like to, just kind of say what they were, and I'd like to have your comments on them. One of them is the funding of athletes. I know it wasn't approved or anything, but it was talked about a lot. How do you feel about that? And by funding, I mean paying the kids to play.
Well, I'd like to see them get a stipend based on need. If they have a need, you have to realize, people don't realize this, when a young man goes to school, he can't just write home a lot of them and say, I need money to clean, to go do cleaning, to get toothpaste, to get razor blades, shaving cream, whatever. They can't call up home all the time. So I think based on need, there should be a way to get them, 50, 100, whatever it is, so they can live a normal life. That's not going to cure all the evils of college basketball or football, but it is going to help young men that are away from home that have a financial need.
Mm-hmm. What about the changing of the qualifications for ACT and the sliding scale on grade point?
Well, that,
more confusion.
That was in. I mean, there wasn't any doubt about that. That wasn't a vote. That was set, and we all knew it as coaches, and that's something that we knew we were just going to have to adjust to. I think the big problem I have, how can you argue with raising your grade point average? I mean, the 2.5, people should aim for that kind of thing. I don't have any problem with that. The discrimination in the test score is something that I just have a little struggle with. But I think they're trying to compensate a little bit by saying the higher the grade point average, the less the score has to be. But if you look at the numbers and the percentages of the minorities and the black athletes that will not make it based on a test score, it's staggering. And that's one situation that I think is going to be addressed before this becomes official in, 95?
What about recruiting practices? Have they made any changes there, things you coaches can do and can't do?
How long is this interview? Is this 4 hours?
Okay, no.
I mean, the rules, I don't even know. I mean,
you can't even understand
I
them,
can't understand them. You can make one phone call a week. You can't talk to a junior until after his junior year is over with. You can write him beginning of his junior year. You can only have one color on your stationery.
Okay.
You want to hear all of them, but there's just too many, really.
What about one more thing I'd really like to hit on quickly is the open forum for NCAA hearings?
Well, fortunately for us, I've never been involved in it, and I hope I never have an open forum to do it. I think you almost have to be a Philadelphia lawyer to understand the total system and how things should be done. But due process is something that everybody's talking about, so that there is a way to have a lawyer and to be represented in a certain way. And so, not knowing the ins and outs of that, not having my law degree. My brother Bob, he could help me out here on this situation. He's a lawyer, but I don't know all the ins and outs of that situation. But due process makes sense to a lot of people.
All right, let's go to your top 5. I know you voted this morning. What were they?
Well, I picked Duke #1. That's a real tough one. Oklahoma State, I think, is a great basketball team. UCLA, after beating Arizona, I got to put them up there. Indiana, they look great against Ohio State. And after Kansas ran us out of the gymnasium, I got to pick Kansas as #5.
All right, I'm passing this week, and I'm going on to my partner, Dandy Dan Rowan. He put UCLA #1, Duke 2, Oklahoma State 3, Kansas 4, and Indiana 5. Thanks a lot for being on with us. I appreciate it, and we'll be back with halftime stats and highlights right after this.
West side, 15 seconds remaining. A three-pointer is one of the Blue Demons' players.
Halftime at the Horizon in Rosemont, Illinois. DePaul leading Cincinnati 41-34. Right now, let's send it back to the WGN studios for a news break and Rick Rosenthal. Welcome back to the Rosemont Horizon. Dan Roan and John Mengeld here with you as both basketball teams are back on the floor getting ready to start the second half. John, we expected an entertaining game tonight. We've gotten exactly that.
Well, I thought we'd get a few more points scored in the game. DePaul's attacking the press. Of course, UC's always pressing, and you thought you'd have more of an upbeat tempo. They got good shots. Neither one of them hit them. I think if either club reels off 4 or 5 field goals in a row, maybe they'll blow this one open.
A lot of open shots passed up by DePaul. One that wasn't was taken by David Booth. In transition here, David just let it go for 3.
Yeah, Nathan, of course, on the pass there. They had that one all the way down. David, 42% from the year. Very selective with his three-pointers.
Steal here by Cincinnati. Really
great save, too. This was just a real nice play by Terry Nelson, and Martin gets the stuff, and Nelson came in, gave Cincinnati a little spark, which got him back into the ballgame. Nice tip pass there. Very nice tip pass by Terry Davis. Kleinschmidt got the ball in the middle. That's how you break down a press. And, of course, Price ended it with a nice stuff. And Doherty, who one of the top three-point shooters in the country, doesn't take very many, but when he does, he hits them 52% from three-point range for Doherty. And DePaul built a little bit of a lead here, 7 points at halftime.
And the numbers from the first half, the one that really stands out on the DePaul side is that free throw shooting. They've made 15 in a row, and Cincinnati only 4 out of 10, so a major discrepancy right there. Rebounding not too far apart. The turnovers, DePaul has done a pretty good job with only 8 against that Cincinnati pressure to 6 for the Bearcats. And three-point shots, Cincinnati's tried many more, but hasn't really shot that well percentage-wise, just 4 out of 11 from beyond the stripe. Leading scorers in the first half, Stephen Howard has 3 baskets and is 9 of 9 from the foul line. 15 points for Howard and no fouls, which may be a key before it's over. David Booth went down early with 3 personals. He had 9 points before he left. Joe Doherty has 7. Terry Davis has 4. For Cincinnati, Herb Jones has 8 points after a very slow start. He was scoreless for the first 12 minutes. Anthony Buford also with 8. Van Exel off the bench with 5. And Eric Martin, a major dunk, as you saw in the highlights, and 4 points for him. So 41-34 at halftime. DePaul on top. And, John, what are they going to have to do here in the second half to keep that lead?
Well, one thing they're going to have to do is continue that turnover pace. Only 8 turnovers for DePaul. Cincinnati averages, their opponents do 23.5 turnovers a ball game. Whenever you press, you have to get turnovers because you're going to give away easy shots. So Cincinnati not making DePaul turn the ball over. From Cincinnati's side, it's very simple. They're almost a 50% shooting basketball club. They're at 35 at halftime. It's very difficult right here to tell whether it's DePaul's defense or Cincinnati's just real cold, because early in the ball game we thought Cincinnati got good shots. They just missed them and built themselves a pretty deep hole to climb out of.
Well, they were 2 for their first 14. They missed 12 in a row in that stretch before they got back to a little bit of respectability later on in the game, but DePaul was able to surge at the end of the half and open it up by 7. So
I think another key here in the second half is David Booth's 4th foul. He can't get it. He's got to play very smart defense, and Cincinnati themselves has to stay out of foul trouble, not put DePaul in a bonus.
Doherty slapped at it. DePaul almost dug it out. Now a shot from the deep left wing is good by Buford, so a good start for Cincinnati. A near steal by DePaul, but a basket by the Bearcats. And almost a turnover there. I think Booth did come back across half court, but they didn't call it.
I think he got a little pump there, and I think 2 wrongs made a right.
Doherty airballed it from 3-point range, and a jump ball called on the rebound. Possession arrow will go to DePaul.
Bob Huggins wanted a 3-point play on that shot that Buford took. There's Doherty's 3-pointer, a little bit short. He was wide open on that one, the one he made in the first half. I think Van Exel was in his face.
Booth couldn't find the handle on the pass. It's 3-on-1 for Cincinnati. And Jones is called for the charge. He missed the shot anyway, and Herb Jones came up right over Joe Doherty. And the foul is called on Cincinnati.
3-on-1, Doherty's stationary. I don't know that he really had a whole lot of contact on that. Let's take a look at it. Doherty obviously stationary, but
kind of a glancing shot.
A lot of times in situations like that, those are better no calls.
Davis with a high dribble, but pulled it back down and now hits Price cross
You ever
court.
see how a guy makes a high dribble or something, gets the ball away from himself real quickly?
Booth missed the three.
Oh, there.
Price trying to pick it up. Davis does, and we're going to get another jump ball as Herb Jones got a hand on the basketball. This one goes to Cincinnati.
Jeff Scott just took Stephen Howard down to the Sears Tower. Watch him box out down there below. Look at that box out. He moved Stephen Howard clear out to the top of the key. They both ended up on the floor. Jump ball situation this time goes to Cincinnati.
Alan Jackson, Corey Blunt, Jeff Scott.
Stephen Howard, you see him helping out on defense, leaving Scott out there to shoot the ball. Kind of playing a one-man zone when Scott's out on the floor as Jackson gets caught pushing a pesky Doherty.
Hey, he two-hand chest shoved him down to the floor. You'll see it right there.
Well, he might be sending a message too later on, you know, but stay out of my chest. But Doherty, on the other hand, may feel he's got his goat and continue to do it.
2 quick team fouls on Cincinnati, and you can make it 3. A foul called again on Alan Jackson.
Bearcats foul, 52, Alan Jackson.
So 3 team fouls in the first minute and a half here on Cincinnati, and they were over the limit with 12 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, it's one of the things we talked about at halftime being a key is that Cincinnati had to play a little bit more conservative, I felt, early on and not getting too much foul trouble.
Howard post up over Scott is good, and Stephen Howard has DePaul's first hoop of the second half.
Scott right there on the defense too, right in his face, and Stephen Howard concentrated very well and put that jumper in.
David Booth still guarding Herb Jones. He's doing a great job on him.
You know, sometimes when you got 3 fouls, you tend to play better defense because you play more with your feet. As you see Davis knock the ball out of Van Exel's hands, you tend to concentrate more because you know you can't get another foul, and you move your feet a little bit better. So sometimes in foul trouble, you play better defense than you do when you're not.
Way out front, Blunt had it. Blunt beat Curtis Price. This is Jones from outside, and Terry Davis has the board for DePaul. Doherty looking to run. Skip pass to Booth. Blunt goes down. Booth's wide open. And now down low to Terry Davis. They'll reset the offense. Howard trying to post up. Davis was open and didn't take it. Now down low to Price. Reverse layup, missed the works. And Jones rebounds for Cincinnati. Not a good shot by Curtis Price, and the Bearcats with a chance to cut it down to 5.
Curtis a little too far extended, out of control. Didn't have the proper finish.
Jones with Booth right in front of him. Scott has not taken a shot that I can recall.
Hadn't even
yet.
looked. Stephen Howard playing a one-man zone back in the middle.
Van Exel short, and Terry Davis kind of held his ground, John, and forced the foul on Corey Blunt, and 4 personal fouls on the team.
Good smart play by Davis. He knows that one of the things will soften a press a little bit is to get a team in trouble, and he sees it there and kind of rides out the foul. Goes to the floor, and 4 team fouls on Cincinnati with only 3 minutes gone and a half.
Scott is out. Eric Martin back on for Cincinnati. Inbounds to Joe Doherty with Jones all over him. Booth into the double team. He's got Doherty. DePaul should get a shot here, and instead they get a turnover as Doherty picked up his dribble and then dragged his pivot foot. Just one of those things that'll kill a coach right there. Joey Meyer and Bob Huggins. DePaul's turned it over 11 times tonight. Buford moving in on Price and hit the shot. One-hander by Anthony Buford.
Over a bigger Curtis Price, 2 tough dribbles to the middle. And you showed a little bit of his strength there as he went up on a stronger Price, put his body on him, and did not lose control. Nice move.
Ball in the corner, knocked out of bounds by Blunt. DePaul will keep it. But what a slow start here in the second half. We're almost 4 minutes into it. DePaul has 1 hoop and Cincinnati only 2.
I don't know. start of the game didn't start much differently.
Look, DePaul had a bit of a quicker start than this. Booth trying to rise up for that lean-in shot, but it's knocked out of bounds. And with 15:58 to go, we're going to get a timeout. DePaul will have it with 25 on the shot clock when we come back. It's 43-38. Blue Demons on top. DePaul leading Cincinnati 43-38, and John, conspicuous by his absence for some time, has been Howard Nathan.
Well, he came in the ball game and was very aggressive, threw a couple away, and he made a couple, 3 or 4 nice plays. And you know, DePaul coming out here in the second half is a little bit passive with that press. You may see Howard Nathan very soon here if the Blue Demons don't get more aggressive against the press.
Stephen Howard off the inbounds pass, knocks it down from the baseline. Howard has 19 points in the game already, and DePaul back up by 7.
He got a ton from the line.
9 of 9. DePaul has yet to shoot a free throw here in the second half. They made all 15 that they shot in the first. Martin in close quarters with Howard. Now Buford for 3, and it's an air ball, and out of bounds to DePaul.
Good defense by Terry Davis that time. Got right up in Buford's face and caused the air ball.
Now Cincinnati forcing the issue a little bit deeper in the full court with the press. Doherty skips across the timeline, then picked it up in the double team again. You can't do that and get away with it very often.
Oh, nice
good pass by Price. Yeah, Davis wide open. Good look by Curtis Price.
The ball goes to the middle on any press, full court or half court, then you turn, you got numbers. Every time. A press is creating a weakness behind it. Anytime you trap, you have a weakness behind it. The ball in the middle, that way it can go either way. A press really tries to force the ball and keep it on one side of the floor. That way you can afford one less man on the other side because you're playing a zone.
Well, a nice look inside by Van Exel. Van Exel to Martin for the basket.
You know, despite Van Exel not starting, they consider him one of their better players.
He averages in double figures off the bench. Booth down low, and what do we get? A pushing foul before the shot. So
Still
a common foul, but yeah, that's another team foul, and that's 5 already on Cincinnati.
Here's the play. There it is. Get the ball across midcourt. You attack the press. You get a double team. Nice move by Booth on a give and go. He draws the foul. 15 foul, no fouls on DePaul.
Terry Davis cut off. In trouble. Hooks it inside, and nobody there. Martin made the steal. I think Howard whacked him in the head too. No call. Cincinnati beats the double team, and this is Gibson just into the game.
I figure Gibson, as well as he played in the first half, would fire that one up. He's got a license right now.
Doherty hits the deck. Van Exel, Martin, Howard right in his face. Now Martin to the glass, and a foul called on Stephen Howard. First of the night on the 6'10" senior out of Dallas, and free throws coming up for Eric Martin.
Good strong move with the left hand by Gibson. The youngsters out there, the reason he shoots the ball with that left hand, it's a lot more difficult to get through if you're a defender to get to that ball if it's on the left hand rather if you try to shoot with the right.
Howard Nathan has checked in, so has Jeff Stern for DePaul. Price sits down, and so does Joe Doherty. Eric Martin with 2.
Martin, a 68% free throw shooter. Looks like a 2-2-1 zone press. Very elastic.
Nathan found a hole in it. Spins inside to Booth for the hook. And credit Howard Nathan with the assist. Off the bench, he makes something happen.
Getting the seam, attacks the press. Easy layup.
49-42, DePaul by 7. The same lead they enjoyed at halftime. And we're going to get a walking call.
No, push.
Foul first. Corey Blunt put it on the floor and took it strong to the basket. He was fouled on the way in.
One of the things you have to do as a defensive player is you see nice move by Nathan a little spin, and he does a really nice job of seeing people in traffic as he sees Booth. Little jump hook for the layup.
That's a difficult shot, but Booth has turned that one
He's
into a
adept at
routine
it, though.
player.
Yeah, he's adept at that jump hook.
Jones takes it inside on Booth, and David stayed away from it. And we get a charge as Howard came over to help out. Stephen Howard stepped in front of the runaway freight train. Herb Jones going strong to the basket. Here's another look at it.
Howard staying in the middle off of both Blount and Scott when they're playing center, not recognizing at all that they can shoot from outside, and Stephen Howard kind of playing a one-man zone.
They go over the top to Stern. He dropped it, trying to pick it back up. It's loose on the floor, and finally we get a whistle and a jump ball, and that one will go DePaul's way.
Mistake here is putting it on the floor. Now, a 6'11" guy, you got the ball up over your head. You know, there may be one or two guys out there who can get to it. You put it on the floor, everybody can get to it.
I'm not sure if he tried to dribble it or if he just dropped it.
Here we go, man.
Arrow pointing towards DePaul, so they'll take the ball out underneath their basket.
Terry Davis looking for somebody to throw it into and finds Booth out front. Nathan with Van Exel. Booth. Fade away on the baseline. Too hard, and a foul inside on Jeff Stern of DePaul.
You need to try to run some offense, some screens, some interchanges if you want to try to get inside position on the boards. That time David Booth just made a one-on-one move. It's pretty easy for your opponent, in this case Cincinnati, to box you out, Stern over the back.
Gibson takes a seat for Cincinnati, and Alan Jackson back into the ball game. Double stack down low for the Bearcats. Martin with the ball deep right wing here.
Whoops.
That wasn't very pretty.
They don't run much continuity on offense either. They try to create mismatches, go one-on-one.
Well, Buford fell down right in front of us, and he's out of bounds with it.
Looks like he stepped on Booth's foot as he tried to back out of the offense.
That was just about as ugly an offensive sequence as you'll ever see in college
There's
basketball.
a little hook pass, and you see him right there. He gets caught, steps on Booth's foot or trips over it, and goes out of bounds.
I thought the World Figure Skating Championships were last week.
You won't see that in any clinic.
Davis back irons the shot from the baseline. Here comes Van Exel in a big hurry. Nathan took it right away from him. And now an offensive foul on Howard as he tried to head back up for it. Howard Nathan may have rushed the matter a bit, but you'll get a chance to see it again right here. Great strip first.
Great strip. This is as many offensive fouls that I've seen called in a year, I think, in one ball game. If you're a player, I think what you want to try to do is take them. If the referees are going to give them to you and make the call that way, you got to take it.
Buford with Kleinschmidt right in front of him. Way off. 2-on-1 if they hurry. The freshman on the way in, and here's Howard Nathan. 51-42 DePaul, the first basket of the night for Nathan.
It's good to see that the offensive foul didn't deteriorate Nathan's confidence.
Blunt, nice hook pass to Martin, slapped away, but Kleinschmidt called for the foul.
Kleinschmidt on what he considers a good block, but Kleinschmidt in the wrong place on that play. He's got to be right in front of that guy. Let's take a look at it. He's late getting over to help. Looks like he got some hand there, a little wrist, but he should be on the other side. Back in the middle, helping sooner.
Eric Martin at the free throw line where he's 2 for 2 tonight. And got the roll this time. Martin had 4 points in the first half. He has 9 now. Covina, California. And a whistle.
Well, Van Exel made that call. Kleinschmidt moved when he into the line position after Martin had the ball. Now, you don't know if the ref knew it or not. Van Exel very intelligently turned around and made sure the ref saw it, knew the rule, told him, and it was called after the missed shot.
Well, he missed it again, but they get the rebound, and Nathan picks it out of the air, but saved it right underneath Cincinnati's basket, and then they drop it on the line.
Well, he made a nice save, did the wrong thing, and it turned out right.
And we need a rest, don't we? 11:43 to go. DePaul by 8, 51-43. And take a look at it again as we send you away for a couple of minutes. Back at the Rosemont Horizon, things a bit out of control before the timeout. A wild scramble for the ball. Howard Nathan saved it. Cincinnati had an opportunity for a layup here, and they drop it out of bounds. Anthony Buford having a tough time.
I don't know why Nathan picked it up there.
That's about the worst place to pick it up, just across the line, right in the face of a double team.
You got to pick it up in the back court as you see people directing traffic, and Stephen Howard not looking and Nathan not looking before he passes the ball over.
DePaul's front line burying Cincinnati so far in this game. Herb Jones, the Bearcats' leading scorer, not even in the game now. He has only 8 points in the game. Van Exel did not get the roll. Blunt had it, lost it. Now Gibson, now Buford, and now Van Exel again. Gibson loads it up. And Howard has the rebound. They've got Nathan on a bust out. Nathan got it.
Quick acceleration by Nathan.
Stephen Howard on the assist. The lead back to double figures with 10:53 to go. Herb Jones at the scorer's table for Cincinnati. He'll be back in a second. Van Exel, Gibson, Van Exel for three. Cincinnati getting a lot of rebounds now, and a foul from behind called on Stephen Howard.
Last couple times down the floor, good ball movement by Cincinnati. A couple cutters, offside screens. That'll create inside position for offensive rebounds. Early in the game, they did nothing of the sort. They just went one-on-one. It's very difficult to get inside position when you got a guy come down the floor and go one-on-one.
Jones and Jackson return Van Exel out. This is Martin with the dunk off the inbounds play.
Oh, a nice acceleration. I always wished I could do that. Good acceleration to the basket. That's 2 or 3 times that
Kleinschmidt to Stern.
Cincinnati has gotten easy hoops on out-of-bounds play as Kleinschmidt just kind of wades his way through the defenders and finds Stern for an easy dunk.
55-45. Kleinschmidt the steal, and out of bounds off Jones to DePaul.
Tom Kleinschmidt in the passing lane. Very good instincts on both ends of the floor. Knocks the ball right off Herb Jones' knee. And you don't always see those stats in the box score, but Kleinschmidt will make himself known in just about every game he's in. You'll know he played.
They beat the pressure across the line. Kleinschmidt, good fake. Booth wide open for three. But he shot it too hard. And now Cincinnati returns the favor as Buford bounces it out of bounds off Stern.
Good play. Buford, a heady player, same thing. Returned Kleinschmidt's favor.
Just under 10 minutes left at the Rosemont Horizon. Great Midwest Conference basketball tonight. 55-45, DePaul leading Cincinnati. Buford for three under heavy pressure. And Curtis, make that Terry Davis pulled down to the floor almost by Buford, and that will send Davis to the free throw line.
Buford wanting to go steady there and hold hands. Buford kind of lost the ball as he went up for the shot. He really didn't have good control. Terry Davis, Buford grabs him going down to the floor, and Buford going to the sidelines for a little rest.
Terry Davis, one hand, the bonus.
Terry Davis, 15 points a game this year, has only 6 tonight. And he short-armed the free throw. Gibson up high for the rebound from the wing. So the first missed free throw tonight by DePaul. They'd made 15 straight before the one-on-one opportunity went by the boards on Davis. Kleinschmidt guarding the leading scorer now, Herb Jones. It has him bottled up in a double and out of bounds to the Bearcats.
in trouble, double team, good double team by Stern and Kleinschmidt. Saw the opportunity. We're making a habit out of bopping that ball off the knee, huh?
Yeah, nobody making the long ones in this half.
It must have gone outside at halftime, gotten cold. For those of you who don't live in Chicago, it's about 40 below wind chills here. And it's about that much inside on shooting for both sides, really.
Jones way short on the three-point try, and Howard Nathan brings it across the line. Now Booth, Kleinschmidt on the floor, on the baseline. Had it blocked from behind and taken out of there by Cincinnati. Jackson, good dish to Jones, and he got it. First points of the second half for Herb Jones. He has 10 now, 55-47. Somebody's got to be wide open.
In the middle, that's where you want it. That's off Stern. Joey wants a timeout to talk things over just a little bit as you see momentum going Cincinnati's way.
Cincinnati basketball, the Bearcats have cut the lead to 8, and we'll be back in a moment. Along with John Mengelt, Dan Roan at the Rosemont Horizon. Glad you can be with us tonight for DePaul basketball on Channel 9. 55-47. The Blue Demons on top with just under 8.5 to go. Field goal shooting by DePaul a bit better than Cincinnati's in the second half. It was a lot better in the first half. Herb Jones with Kleinschmidt. Jones rises up and shot it short. Scott got a rebound. Blocked by Stern and hauled out by Booth, and he's fouled. Frustration foul right there, John. No question about it with Jeff Scott.
I thought Scott may have got fouled on the rebound shot. It's hard to tell. A lot of pushing and shoving going on in there. Let's take a look at it. Jones on a nice move, faced up on Kleinschmidt. A lot of hands, a lot of whacking, a lot of bodies. No foul, and then the double team on Booth causes the foul. That'll be a 1 and a penalty.
David Booth on the push.
Booth, a very adept free throw shooter at 82%.
Made them both. David Booth with 13.
DePaul a little bit of a passive pressure itself. Man to man, not the usual diamond and one, which they like to run after free throws.
Corey Blunt. Blunt moves in. Scott will take one. A rare shot by Scott, no good. Stern had the inside position, and he's on the court trying to dig it away, and finally Booth has it, and DePaul's got an advantage if they hurry. Nathan, hesitation, and a double dribble.
Well, Terry Davis, I think, ran into him on the play. Terry should have timed himself a little bit better and been a trailer. Anytime you see a fast break developing 3-on-2, as you'll see this wild transition here on the floor, it's almost like that who's on first kind of thing, who's got the ball. Right here, Terry Davis should have kind of waited a little bit because they had a 3-on-2 and timed his transition about 2 or 3 seconds later.
Shoot the ball down inside to Blunt and a whistle. Jeff Stern guarding Blunt from behind, and Stern's going to pick it up. That's been a problem, John. I don't think there's any question about it all year that fundamentally these guys are lacking in some areas, and that may be one of them there. People not getting into their roles on a break like that. His role there, Terry Davis's, is obviously as a trailer.
That's right, to fill the lane late. Pick your spot. You kind of hang back. You watch for the weakness in the press. And you see Blount throw a brick up. We talk very openly about Cincinnati's lack of free throw shooting ability, and a travel's called on Howard Nathan. This game a little rough on the edges here tonight, to say the least.
7:24 to play. It's a 10-point Blue Demon lead. Herb Jones trying to go to work on Kleinschmidt. He beat him and then missed the shot. Blunt, though, has the rebound and has the hoop.
Cincinnati going to the offensive boards much more aggressively here in the second half, getting a lot of follow shots.
Nathan gets it to Doherty. Nathan and Doherty in the backcourt together for the first time. Nice dish. Howard had a shot, passed it up, took it to the basket and scored. 21 points tonight for Stephen Howard.
Yeah, but he ruined Nathan's assist. That's what Nathan's going to tell him. He said, take that open jump shot.
Jackson lost the ball and a foul called. Howard Nathan picks it up.
Howard knows it. A little pat for the referee on that play.
Each team now in the bonus situation. DePaul has been for some time. 6:37 to go. We may see a lot of free throws before this game is over. Seen plenty already.
And that's obviously in DePaul's favor. Cincinnati 62.4 from the free throw line. DePaul almost 75% if you count tonight's ball game.
I guess what that tells you about Cincinnati is that they score a lot of baskets off that defense, off that pressure. They make a lot of layups because field goal wise they shoot close to 50% and their free throw shooting is way below average.
You're going to get a lot of layups on that kind of press, and DePaul really has done a nice job to not doing that, not allowing the turnovers to occur and therefore not allowing the easy baskets, which is affecting Cincinnati's field goal percentage and probably any opportunity to shoot free throws.
Nice look inside by Booth, but Kleinschmidt couldn't get to it. Cincinnati has it on the turnover and a chance to pull within 6. Plenty of time left. 6:15 to go.
Oh, the way Cincinnati can score points off that press, there's a lot of time left with 2 minutes to go.
Eric Martin's had a good game. Pass inside. Jones got by Kleinschmidt. They call the foul before the shot, and they call it on David Booth. That'll be number 4.
I agree with you. It looked like Kleinschmidt actually tried to foul him on purpose. There's a Kleinschmidt with a little hit on the back. Booth not even in there. Kleinschmidt with a push and then a hack because he wanted Jones, who's a 56% free throw shooter, to go to the line. But the foul was called on David Booth.
Well, you lose a lot of offense in that transition. Curtis Price has replaced David Booth, and Joey will sit him down for a couple of minutes. They'd like to have him at the end of the game. Free throw no good. Nathan's got the rebound for DePaul. And Howard circles back and will set up the offense. Kleinschmidt open, doesn't take it, now penetrates and shoots it up short. Right over his head for the rebound is Blunt. Kleinschmidt having a tough time on the offensive end here tonight. Blunt really won't hurt you down there. Back outside, it comes to Buford, who can. Nobody came to help, and a nice drive by Buford. Anthony Buford now with 14 in the game, 59-53, and another turnover. Howard knocked it out of bounds. They say Howard touched it last. Cincinnati will have it in a 6-point game with 5:25 to go. A timeout on the floor, and we'll come back to the Rosemont Horizon in a moment.
A free 5-minute ball anywhere in the world.
59-53, Cincinnati on the way back with 5:25 to go in this game. Bench scoring tonight, Cincinnati dominating that stat. Most of that's come from Eric Martin and Nick Van Exel. Martin has 11, Van Exel 5 for the Bearcats. And off DePaul's bench, Jeff Stern has a couple, Howard Nathan has 6. Bearcats have the basketball. They go right down low to Blunt, who's sealed off, and the ball's out of bounds to Cincinnati. Kleinschmidt had 2 hands on it, but couldn't hang on.
Cincinnati looks a little bit more organized in their half-court offense.
David Booth still on the bench with 4 fouls and a traveling call on Alan Jackson. Big turnover there.
Cincinnati must run something magic on that out-of-bounds play. They're open every time. Jackson open, had a 3-pointer, didn't take it, shuffled his feet a little bit going to the basket.
Jones, Hawkin Nathan, now a double team and a timeout called by DePaul. Rather than take the turnover, Howard Nathan called the timeout. So 5:04 to go, still 59-53, DePaul on top.
For you youngsters that play guard, you see Nathan here, he's got to keep that ball in the back court here. Once he crosses over into the front court, the trap comes. Now you got 2 trappers, plus the out-of-bounds line, plus the half-court line. You're boxed in, you got nowhere to go.
Kleinschmidt knocked in the head again, a blocking foul called on Blunt.
And that time, Kleinschmidt did what you're supposed to do. When you get trapped, the thing you try to do is split the two guys trapping you. Step through the trap, because again, you have a 4-on-3 on the other side of the floor.
The important numbers, both teams over the limit. Cincinnati with 2 times out left, and DePaul 0. Kleinschmidt makes the free throw, his first of the night. Tommy with 3 points.
Hopefully, Joey Meyer will not find out how important that timeout may have been by keeping a good lead, but he also may find out that he needed that one.
And even 5 minutes left here. DePaul's lead is 7. It could be 8 if Kleinschmidt makes the free throw. He did not get the roll. 60-53. Alan Jackson on the dribble out front. Boy, Doherty just took an elbow to the face and shook it off. Van Exel, overpriced, too long. And Nathan hustling for the steal, knocked it out of bounds. Jones had the rebound and had a pretty good shot coming up. Nathan took the ball away from him.
Now Nathan went off onto the cement over there. He probably should wipe his shoes off. He's had trouble, slipped a few times. You pick up dirt on that concrete, bring it on the floor, make your shoes slick. And
Jackson's double teamed in the corner. Cincinnati didn't do a very good job that time at all on the inbounds play.
I'll tell you what, you just saw within a minute span 2 timeouts taken that may be very, very important down at the end of this ball game. Cincinnati trailing 7 points, now only has 1 timeout left. DePaul has none. And if you're trailing, of course, at the end of the ball game, when you score a field goal, you know, the clock continues to run when the ball's out of bounds. You want to use those timeouts. So they've really taken a very important timeout and used it, what I figure, fairly unnecessarily, that they could have used at the end of the ball game when they're behind.
So Cincinnati has 1 left in the game, and DePaul has none. Our remaining TV games involving DePaul basketball this year, Saturday, February 1st, right here at the Rosemont Horizon against Alabama Birmingham. All these 7 o'clock tip-offs. And we close out the regular season with 2 at home against old rivals, Marquette, Wednesday the 4th of March, and on Saturday, March 7th, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. All those games at 7 o'clock and all those games right here on Channel 9.
John McLeod, after a slow start, has got the Irish playing a little bit better.
They stumbled last night, or was it the night before?
Yeah.
The night before at West Virginia, but they...
That was after that big victory in the Garden. They were still celebrating.
When we finish up here tonight, stay with us for the 9 o'clock news right after the ball game. Rick Rosenthal, Allison Payne, Tom Skilling, and Rich King will be doing the sports tonight. Rich will have all the details of that move by the San Francisco Giants that may happen to San Jose.
Well, you buying them?
Not me, pal.
You're buying the Giants and moving them to San Jose?
Somebody deep in the Silicon Valley is going to
You're
take them down.
not working tonight, huh? You just...
What do you mean I'm not working? Hey, if I have to spend 2 hours with you, pal, it's work. Alan Jackson with Howard Nathan. Howard Nathan right up on him.
Got him.
Jones trying to post up the freshman Kleinschmidt. Nothing there. And a foul on Doherty prior to the steal. Joe had it all the way down, but he fouled Buford before he took the ball away.
Buford and Doherty got their little own game going on. Little bumping and shoving. Buford a little bit bigger and stronger. Slight mismatch there.
We will test the free throw shooting of Cincinnati here down the stretch. That was 10 fouls on DePaul in the second half, so 2 shots the rest of the way for the Bearcats.
This is their best free throw shooter at 70%, so he's the guy you don't want to foul.
Buford is 0 for 2 up there tonight. That one crawled in for him. That's 15 points in the game for Anthony Buford, right on his average.
If you had an opportunity to be behind Buford and look where he's looking, as the Horizon here has real deep end zones, makes it a little bit more difficult without a background to shoot those free throws.
Buford made them both. It's a 5-point game. Howard across the line. Fakes. He's got Kleinschmidt, and they'll reset the offense. David Booth still on the bench with 4 fouls and 4:10 to play. 60-55 DePaul on top. The Blue Demons have led most of the way here tonight.
Looks like Joey's going to run a little movement offense. Try to bring Cincinnati out, get a one-on-one, get a back door.
Doherty open, posted up. Howard, Nathan.
Plenty of time left, still 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Down to 7. Got to get it going here. Nathan going to pull up for 3, and he hit it!
That'll give Joey Myers some gray hair.
You could not ask for more out of a possession than that, John. They take the shot clock to the wire, and Nathan hits it for 3.
That's what a coach says, no, oh, good shot.
Somebody had to put it up. Blunt to the floor. His shot is no good. And Howard's got the rebound. Trying to break it. Kleinschmidt fouled by Buford, no call, and saved in by Cincinnati.
Good hustle by Buford, though.
Blunt hits it from the foul line for 2. Kleinschmidt absolutely hammered over here in front of us, and no whistle.
You got to give credit to Buford, though. Good hustle, very aggressive.
Well, Joey Meyer cannot believe that one. Price looking for somebody to throw it in. He didn't travel. He can move on the made basket on the end line.
You're going to have a lot of fouling by Cincinnati here. Very aggressive defense to try to make up the deficit.
David Booth up off the Paul's bench. Doherty open. They'd rather milk the clock. There's 2:51 to go. Doherty fouled on the baseline. He'll go to the free throw line.
When they're up under you playing that aggressive defense, more than likely a referee is not going to blow the foul while you're standing there. You try to go to the basket, try to make a move. If that pressure continues, like Doherty did, they're going to call the foul.
Curtis Price to the bench. David Booth to the floor with 4 personal fouls and a 13-point night underway.
Joey Meyer with 2 freshmen. Kleinschmidt and Nathan in this ball game, 2 true freshmen. Down at the end, as you see, Doherty missed the first free throw. He's a 70% shooter. How can you shoot 51% from 3-point range? Miss 2 free throws.
It's a mystery, and despite the fact that DePaul made 15 straight in the first half, Cincinnati's had the better of it from the line here in the second half. Bearcats trying to cut into a 6-point DePaul lead with 2:38 to go. 3-point shot on the way by Jackson. No good, and Doherty up off the roof to grab that one. And he's knocked out of bounds and a foul call.
Oh, he did get up on that one. Good weak side rebounding by Doherty, as you'll see him come in here and get it off the board. And I guess if you're Cincinnati and Doherty's struggling from the line, you'd rather see him go with no time going off the clock than somebody else later on.
You have to think that with a 70% free throw shooter up there, the odds are you're going to get 1 or 2 out of this. And Joe D makes the first one.
This is not Vegas, so you're not playing the odds. You got to add pressure. You got to add everything else into it.
Joe D got them both. If you're wondering about Cincinnati coming back with a 3-point shot, they're 0 for 10 in the second half from outside the line. 2:28 to go. 65-57 DePaul by 8. They shoot the pass inside Jones. Blocked by Howard. Jones got it back, and Nathan took it from him. Nathan on the dribble. Gets it to Howard, and DePaul clears half court. Howard Nathan with a big steal. And we head down to 2 minutes. DePaul will try to burn some clock.
Joey Meyer with his 2 best ball handlers in the ball game, Doherty and Nathan at guard, and of course Kleinschmidt very adept at handling the basketball.
Howard shoots a pass to Kleinschmidt. He dribbles it back out. Nice play by the freshman. 15 on the time clock, shot clock, I should say, and 1:45 to go in the game. Down to 10 on the shot. Doherty, 3-point shot. Nailed it! Joe Doherty. DePaul by 11.
Of course, Cincinnati with only 1 timeout left really can't Call a timeout.
David Booth clears the rebound. Booth attacked by 3 Bearcat players, and a foul finally called with 1:17 to go.
So
Joe Doherty hit the biggest shot of the game, John.
Well, I agree with you somewhat, but I think Howard Nathan's shot a while ago was just as big. DePaul running the clock down and then really kind of almost wasting too much time and forcing their 2 guards to fire up 3-pointers.
David Booth to the foul line. He hasn't missed yet tonight. DePaul's lead, their biggest of the night, 69-57. Booth tries to extend it to 13. And he made it. David Booth has 15 points, 70-57. DePaul about to lock this one up.
Cincinnati with nothing else to do but go for 3-point plays, I would assume.
Well, they jam it down low to Jones. His shot blocked, saved. Now out of bounds, Cincinnati. Howard came over to help Kleinschmidt.
Good block, but one of the things you want to play here is contain defense in this kind of situation. You really don't want the clock stopped. You'd rather just let them take jumpers and let them use the clock.
Jackson trying to force the contact.
Because like on a situation like this, well, Cincinnati's going to use their last timeout. Situation like that, there's 7 or 8 seconds goes by before the ball's thrown inbounds.
All the timeouts are gone. Less than a minute to go. DePaul by 11, and we'll return to wrap this one up in a second. .1 seconds to go in the game. DePaul leading Cincinnati 70-59. And a reminder, our next WGN TV game, Alabama-Birmingham in town at the Rosemont Horizon to take on these Blue Demons. February 1st, a Saturday night game, 7 o'clock tip, right here on WGN.
Demons be looking for revenge there.
Cincinnati, a tough night from the 3-point line, and DePaul kicks it out of bounds.
One of the easiest ways to get the ball in bounds is go away and set a screen rather than run to the ball. You cause switches.
They come in high, and Blunt got the roll.
2 quick points.
Kleinschmidt on the dribble.
Oh, they got a foul now.
Kleinschmidt spun out of the double team and got it to Doherty. Doherty hauls it back out.
I think here you want to do is get rid of it before you get fouled.
Someone's open, and it's Booth. DePaul needs to space it out a bit better. Now they've got it going. Howard tried to jam it inside. It's knocked out of bounds off Cincinnati. DePaul will have it with 27 seconds on the shot clock and 33 on the big one.
Only 6 difference is right. And
reach-in foul finally called here on Terrence Gibson.
Guess I'm surprised that Cincinnati didn't foul a little bit sooner. 9 points down. They need at least 3 transitions to even have a remote chance of getting back into the ball game, and that would be all 3-pointers.
Gibson is fouled out of the game. Jackson comes on to replace him. 2 shots for Howard Nathan. He's 2 for 2 up there tonight. And he got the first one. DePaul's going to win it. The Blue Demons will up their record to 9-5 overall, 3-1 in the Great Midwest Conference. Cincinnati falling to 11-3, and they'll be 1-1 in the league so far. Nathan made them both. Howard Nathan having a big night tonight, becoming a force on this basketball team, and certainly a player to watch. Jackson all the way in. Booth let him go, and he made it. Nathan on the dribble. He's fouled by Buford. He had Joe Doherty and pointed at him as if to say, I saw you down there.
Well, the thing you want to do is obviously not stop the clock in this kind of situation. So if you get rid of the ball before you get fouled, you have a tendency, to make the clock run a little bit more. And I think Nathan was recognizing the fact that his next move was going to be to pass to Doherty. Instead, he got fouled.
Clock ticking on us tonight, too. As Nathan misses the free throw. We've gone a bit overtime, and I want to remind you that the 9 o'clock news follows the game. Nathan made the second one, 73-63. Final seconds of this one. Jackson hauls it up and nails it. Alan Jackson for 3. But they can't stop the clock. Booth is whacked from behind. Eric Martin picks up the foul, and with 7.6 seconds to go, Joey Meyer watching his club lock it up over Cincinnati.
Kept their poise. Cincinnati made a very strong run with about 6-7 minutes to go, and with 2 freshmen in the ball game, Kleinschmidt and Nathan, gaining very valuable experience under pressure. The Blue Demons hold out, and we'll take this one in the win column.
Now, we had talked, John, and in these 8 days in the 4 games that DePaul played against Memphis State, Detroit, here against Cincinnati, and then Saturday against Georgetown, they probably needed to win at least 3 of those games to keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive. It may be a bit early to start talking about that, but with this win, DePaul goes to 9-5, and should they beat Georgetown Saturday, they're 10-5 and really not looking that bad in the NCAA picture.
Definitely, and I think that NCAA, though, has a tendency to look a little bit stronger at your most recent record as you go toward the end of the season. Obviously, they'll look at the standings, even though there's not an automatic bid for this conference, the Great Midwest, and they'll also probably look at someone who wins both the conference and the tournament. I would think, in anybody's mind, would have to have an automatic bid as good as basketball teams as you have in this conference.
Well, if any team does that in a double dribble call here on Cincinnati in the final seconds, if a team were to do that, they're going to have to win 22 or 23 games to get that job done, so they'd be a lock to get in anyway. Kleinschmidt will throw it in, 4 seconds left. Howard just holding on, and that'll do it. Joe Doherty hit it from 60 feet after the buzzer had sounded. That one won't count, but this victory sure does. A sweet one for the Blue Demons here tonight. 75-66 over Cincinnati, and we'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment. Well, our next DePaul telecast on Channel 9 comes up Saturday, February 1st against the University of Alabama Birmingham Blazers. That's a 7 o'clock tip, Saturday, February 1st, right here on Channel 9. We hope that one turns out as well as this one did for the Blue Demons tonight. A winner tonight over the Bearcats of Cincinnati, 75-66 in a great Midwest Conference game. A big one for DePaul to win. It pushes their record in the league to 3-1. And overall, DePaul goes to 9-5. Cincinnati now 11-3 for the year, John, and they fall to 1-1 in the conference. And DePaul has begun to turn a corner, I think.
Yeah, well, obviously it wasn't a very pretty game, and anytime you get a pressing situation, a lot of pushing, grabbing, trapping, you're going to have that kind of ball game. But I think Joey Meyer, from his perspective, has to be very happy with the poise his club showed. It's easy to lose your poise under that kind of pressure. And also, when you get a guy like Howard, Nathan, and Kleinschmidt, 2 freshmen playing that well, you can see yourself becoming deeper on the bench.
And DePaul will try it out against Georgetown Saturday here at the Rosemont Horizon. That'll do it for us tonight. Final score again, 75-66. For John Menkeld and our producer, Skip Ellison, this is Dan Roan saying so long from the Rosemont Horizon. The 9 o'clock news coming up next.
DePaul basketball was brought to you in part by True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. United Airlines, the airline that's uniting the world, is proud to be Chicago's hometown airline. Come fly the friendly skies. And McDonald's of Chicagoland in Northwest Indiana. You deserve a break at McDonald's today.